Hello, I hope you're enjoying our coverage here on the Sheikh Mansoor live stream. I'm actually in Oman talking to Jimmy Bleasdale, a former top jockey in the United Kingdom. And he is a man who teaches the youngsters basically how to ride in races. What's the basic ingredients, Jim? Take us, so say someone's never ridden before, but they want to be a top jockey like you were.
Well, the thing is, Derek, with all these boys here, I've got them in, I'm working for the Royal Cavalry and they're coming on different brackets. So we've got senior jockeys that have ridden internationally in the Gulf that come to the UK when the Royal Cavalry send the Arab horses and race at Newbury, Nottingham, Doncaster, Wolverhampton, places like that. Whereas here the younger boys haven't had that experience. So what I have the intentions of doing is to bring them along from A to B, steadily taking them through the courses of race riding. On race day, as an acting steward, I don't have any officialdom with stewarding, but having been there and ridden in races, I know the pros and cons of race riding. So if the boys have made mistakes, even the seniority of them, when they make a mistake, I will make note, call it forward so that they are then brought in. We watch the DVD, the video, to show them their mistakes and rectify them so as not to do again. We all make mistakes, everyone's made mistakes, but once you've been told where the mistake's been made and to rectify it, if you make the same mistake again, then you're not learning anything.
What's the most common mistake that young jockeys make? Is there one specific thing?
Here, the specific mistake that was being made here initially when I came was excessive use, because they hadn't brought in rulings as to how many times you can hit the horse. So from start to finish, some of these boys would be up with the sticks, bang, 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 and so on. We've now brought the situation in where the jockey can hit the horse 10 times in the straight. So it doesn't mean to say that prior to it coming into the straight he can hit them another 50 times. We're trying to bring all that out of it so that while their hands and heels slap down the shoulder, maybe one backhander as a wakener upper, not to be whipping them until they get into the straight. And here in Oman there's a good 500 metres, 2.5 furlongs, so the 10 times in that will advance the horses. A lot of them would do it when a horse was beaten, and we would try and instill it into them that once your horse is beaten and going backwards, the whip will not help them run any faster. Put it down and ride them hands and heels.
What is the most important thing when you look for, when you see a young jockey out there and they've got potential, what is the thing that you can't teach? Is it balance? What makes Frankie Dettori the number one jockey in the world?
Well, Frankie Dettori has been following the likes of Lester Pigotts and God bless Pat Edries and Willie Carson. They have that natural ability. The boys without that natural, it's very, very difficult to instill into them. We have a big equisizer at the Royal Cavalry, which will get them a balance on that. But then, as you will well know, that if a horse coming into a bend, it's leading on, it's off, and then all of a sudden it changes to its near, there's that little bit. The horse the jockey has to keep balance with the horse.
Yeah. And to do that, then to keep it nicely balanced so the horse will then... How do you make a horse run faster?
To make a horse run faster, you've got to cross yourself and, inshallah, hope that they do so. It's to keep without allowing the reins to be loose and everything. Keep the bit, keep them on the bridle, as the saying goes, to keep the bit between the teeth so that they can run for you. Once a horse starts to tire, it, as an American terminology would say, it spits the bit. It tires. To gather them back up again, to try and regain it back onto the bit, to get them running along, where all racing's won at the end of the straight.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not over at the beginning, but it is at the very end. Hope you enjoyed Jimmy Bleasdale, a former top jockey in the United Kingdom, now a top jockey coach. Stay with us here on the Sheikh Mansoor Festival live feed.